Well, g'day, curd nerds. G'day, curd nerds. Well, 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 g'day, curd nerds, and welcome to Ask the Cheeseman. This is, let's adjust the volume there. This is where you can ask your home cheese making questions. This is episode 197, nearly at 200, which is fantastic. A big shout out goes to all the YouTube members and patrons for financially supporting the show. There are no new ones this week, but Kim and I are so appreciative of all the people who support us, which is fantastic. For those who don't know, I'm Gavin Webber, the Chief Curd Nerd, and I'm, try and answer the questions. We are currently live on YouTube, obviously, if you're watching this on YouTube, on Facebook, on a couple of my channels, and on Twitch as well, which is fantastic. Okay, we've got lots of people in the chat, which is absolutely fantastic. First cab off the rank was Monique, who can't be here today because she has to work. She'll watch the replay. We got Bill Nelson. G'day, Bill. Lovely to see you, mate. Who else we got? We've got Gone Gliding. Lovely. Thank you very much. Drew. G'day, Drew. Charlie. We've got Kim moderating, which is so good. And Kim says that, thank you, everybody. It's great to be back. Thanks so much, honey, for being here. Judy. G'day, Judy. Annette. Charlie. Wendy, g'day, Wendy. Lovely to see you. Paul, Thomas, Thomas or Tom. Sorry, Tom. We've been having conversations over on Patreon, and he's got Google Chrome, so he's going to have a shot. He's been having issues with Super Chat, but hopefully that's all fixed. Who else we got? Where am I up to? We've got Star Farms. We've got Michael, Cease, Ian, Cobia, Fun Pants 94, Patricia, and Mikkel. Fantastic to see you all. Now, the cheese video still in production, nearly there, and that's Gorgonzola, which will be the next video that will appear on the channel as far as cheese making tutorials. Now I do right, it's all a little bit confusing today because I've moved over to Windows 11, so I'm just still getting used to it a little bit. Right, let's share the screen and bring up the trusty old Trello board. So cheeses, as I said, so we've done cacio ricotta. Gorgonzola dolce is the next cheese that's coming. Caciotta, which is similar to cacio ricotta. Fundy Fog, and that's Patricia's recipe, and we'll be trying that soon. Guido's Italian cheese. So they're all in pre-planning. I've just got to order the milk for them, and I'll make them over the holidays. And then video ideas I've currently got. I'm not saying these will all be videos, but we'll see how we go. I've got Ways with Whey, Prima Donna Fino, Tete de Mon, Graviera, types of mold in cheese making, Dambo cheese, triple cream, Jack in the Box, and Alp Blossom, which is a new discovery for me. One of my viewers sent it in. I can't remember who, but fantastic looking cheese. And it's got these lovely crusty, you can't really see it in the picture. Can we make it bigger? You got these all these flowers, botanicals, and herbs all over the outside of the cheese. So yeah, that's very interesting. So I'm going to give that a shot, I think. All right, so that's the Trello board, and that's where we're at as far as video production. If you've got any ideas, shoot them to me. I got an idea before, top 10 beginners cheeses you should make in 2022. So I'm going to put that on the list, and we'll see how that goes as well. Okay. Before we go on, Merry Christmas to everybody. Next week, I'm not sure if we'll have a show. If we do schedule it, you'll see that on the YouTube dashboard or wherever you're watching this. And happy holidays to everybody else. Just be sure to remember that our shop, Little Green Workshops, will be closed. The office will be closed from Wednesday, the 22nd of December. That's our first day of holidays, not our last day of work. Tuesday is our last day of work. Until Monday, 17th of January. You can still place an order, but it won't be shipped until the week commencing Monday. So, okay. What else? That's all I wanted to say. Kim is in the chat, which is fantastic. So you can say g'day to Kim, which is fantastic as well. Let's get into some of the questions. What have we got so far? Let's have a look. Sure, we've got a question here somewhere. Okay. So, Star Farm says, I just came home from Costa Rica. Any thoughts on recreating the version of sour cream I had there? Don't know what the sour cream is in Costa Rica, but yeah, if you can find a recipe or a photo or something like that, shoot me an email and I'll investigate. Funpants94 says, hey, Gavin, have you ever used Star Sand or any other means of disinfecting your equipment outside of boiling? If so, do you know if you can reuse it? Star Sand is once, I don't know, it's in home brewing. It's a one use type thing, so I don't reuse it. Other means of disinfecting in the industry, they use a product called Idafor, which is an iodine derivative, and that kills all bacteria and stuff and yeasts that are on the cheese making equipment. There's another product, well, obviously bleach. You can use bleach, a weak bleach solution, where you don't actually have to rinse afterwards, which is good because use 20 mils of bleach, 20 milliliters of bleach to 2 liters of water, and yeah, that works. So that's cool. But yeah, there you go. So that's what I use outside of boiling. Oh, and of course the trusty old white vinegar, which kills most molds and yeasts on your equipment. That's what I use for the plastic stuff. Okay. But there is some advice here from Star Farms. I use Star Sand to disinfect pieces I can't boil, specifically plastic pieces. If that works, then that's fine. If you, it's usually sodium percarbonate. I think that's the stuff in Star Sand. So anyway, so if that works for you, that's fantastic. Paul's got a question or a statement. Says, my Gruyere is done aging. It seems a bit soft than I think it should be. It is vacuum packed. Should I move it back to the box to try to dry it out? Thanks for everything you and Kim do. Thanks, Paul. Yeah, look, you could just let it air dry, just not in the box. Just make sure it doesn't crack. But yeah, and that'll dry the surface out a little bit, but it won't really dry. It won't dry the inside out. You'll have to age it, for a month or so longer, maybe. But look, if it depends on how soft you say is soft. If it's just a little bit spongy, then it'll probably be all right. But yeah, air drying will fix that. Okay. Now, Patricia's got some advice on the Star Sand. She says, I reuse Star Sand. For me, it lasts well over 6 months. Only change it when it starts to get debris in it. Goodness me. Okay. There you go. So you can use the brewing Star Sand stuff to use on cheesemaking equipment. I stand corrected. George says, good evening all from the UK. I find a quiet corner in the pub to listen in. Oh, very cool. People listening in the pub. All righty. Where else? Something was delicious. Star Farms, it was delicious. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Maybe I missed that bit. The cream cheese, right. It was more creamy yellow coloured than commercial sour cream here. I was thinking of trying it with raw cow's milk, cream, and culturing for 24 hours with a thermophilic culture. Yeah, maybe it might work. Thermophilic will set a fairly firm, sort of. Yeah, it'll firm right up. So with a thermophilic, with a mesophilic, not so much. It'll remain a bit sloppier. That's just the way it is. It depends on what you're going to heat it up with. Raw cow's milk cream without any heat treatment. Yeah, that should be fine. So give it a try. See what happens. Bill said he loved the article on the cease and desist. Yeah, that person, I didn't really leave their name. It was one of the Reddit handles. For those who didn't see, over on the community tab, I left a little story about the I remember all that palaver over it about a year ago when the Consortium for the Protection of Grana Padano challenged me on their trademark for one of the videos that I created. So yeah, that was unusual. So yeah, I made a couple of videos about it, and then I redubbed my Grana Padano video to Cheese and Desist. But there was a lovely article that laid out the whole drama over on Reddit. So go to the community tab if you haven't already. It's a good read. Okay. We've got somebody new I haven't seen before. Muaid from where are you from? From Iraq. Lovely to see you. Who's this? This is Randy. Says, have you used the double lever press yet? No, I haven't, but I will be soon because one of the cheeses is going to be fairly large, and that's what I want to use it for. It's quite a large press, and it takes up more than just the normal space on the kitchen sink. So I haven't been hesitant to use it. I just haven't had the opportunity to use it because I haven't made any really big cheeses. So that's the only reason I haven't used it. But that will be getting a workout very soon. Question from Brian says, when you make farmhouse cheddar, is it on the drier side? How long do you age it? It doesn't tend to be on the drier side. It tends to be actually moister than the cheddars, the normal cheddars that I make. So the farmhouse cheddar is the stir-curd version that I use. So I use that recipe. And they turn out fairly moist, and it's kind of like the consistency of the cheddar you buy in the supermarket, the standard no-name sort of brand. So that's kind of the consistency there. How long do I age it? I think it's between 2 months and 3 months. And it seems to get decent flavour. C says, have you made Monk's Head cheese? I really want to buy a Girol, but need to know how to make the cheese so I can justify the Girol. There is, I've got the recipe for it. So I'm going to be, Monk's Head's better known as Tête de Monde. So yeah, I do have the recipe. It's in my video ideas list, but I haven't made it yet, Cease. So working on that. Patricia says, Gavin, wondering if the Maltese cheese baskets are available yet. I can't find them listed on the Little Green Workshop's webpage. Thanks. No, not at the moment. I do have them in supply. I just haven't got a product page for them. I'll get onto that and make sure. Kim will make sure that I do that. So I'm glad she's here. All righty. Paul says, just spongy on the Gruyere, so thanks. Yeah, so just air dry. It should be right, mate. All righty. We're nearly, gee whiz. I'm going to say, I thought I was way behind, but I'm not. Beauty Fox 66 says, hi there, Gavin. Kim, made it. The girls are milked and I'm here. Just made whey caramel and 1.5 litres of it from 4 litres. I tell you what, fresh cow's milk whey caramel would be absolutely delicious. So yeah, nice. Well done. Fun Pants 94. What are some of your favorite dishes you have made with some of your homemade cheeses? Oh, okay. This is a good one. This may take me a little while to answer. Anglesey eggs. When I make kafili, Kim makes these amazing Anglesey eggs, which is a Welsh recipe to use for kafili. And I think, do I have a recipe? I think I might have a video on it, maybe, or I might have done a blog post. I'm not sure. Anyway, it's it's really good. So Anglesey eggs is one thing. When I make a lasagna, I always use a bit of our cheese. Whatever's going, really. So lasagna is perfect for it. Cheese toasties, of course, they're always great. I made a fantastic mushroom risotto with some of my what was it? It was the goat's milk Romano that I made. So yeah, the pecorino Romano, that was absolutely fantastic. There's no end, but there's some of my favorite ones that we use cheese in, but we use the cheese all the time, especially on cheese platters as well. So that's all good. Now, Patricia Kim said that we will get those baskets online over the holidays. Apologies for the delay in getting them online. Sorry, yes, I apologise too, because I know you've asked a couple of times, Patricia. Sorry about that. Annette says, I should make the Maltese cheese. I'm Maltese, but have never tried it. Yeah, it's quite nice, Annette. Kim and I rated it. We ate it. It was lovely. But yeah, how do you pronounce it again? Gebnet Tal Bazaar. So that means peppered cheese. But yeah, it's a great little recipe. And if Kim's got the link for that, you can pop it into the YouTube chat, please, honey, for the Maltese cheese. Drew says, hi, why don't you have to add calcium chloride to ricotta? It's because you're not using any rennet. You only really need the calcium chloride in cheeses where you need the curd structure to be really strong, because ricotta is made from the leftover whey, and you add some sort of acid to it, whether that be vinegar or lemon juice or what have you, or citric acid. It automatically curdles itself, so you don't need to add any strength. The ricotta is supposed to be smooth and creamy. If you add calcium chloride, that you're actually going to firm up that structure. So that's one of the reasons why you don't. Okay. Brian says, have you made any cheese curds? Yes, there is a recipe for squeaky cheese curds. And Kim, I'm going to hitch up with another link if you haven't already got it. Can you put the link up for the squeaky cheese curds for Brian, please? Okay. Paul says, Gavin, if I bring a cheddar cheese wheel I've made to Greece, am I okay to bring it if not refrigerated? Let me read that again. Gavin, if I bring a cheddar cheese wheel I've made to Greece, are you going on holidays, maybe? Am I okay? Well, if it's vacuum packed and it's in your personal luggage, I suppose that's okay. It's up to you. I think it'd be okay. Just keep it cool somehow if you can. All righty. Oh, there you go. Patricia's got the pronunciation. Shebenyet Tal Bazaar. There you go. I was close. I was close. It's that G and J together in English. There's no equivalent. Okay. Jim says, hello, King Gav and Queen Kim. So glad to catch yet another live. And that's us. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it, mate. Okay. Kim's put up the link for the Shebenyet Tel Bazaar. So that's cool. Where are we? How do you spell that fish egg, that egg dish? I've not heard of it in the States. Yeah, it's called Anglesey, Anglesey. ELSY, Anglesey Eggs. Oh, Kim's already put it up. There you go. Well done, Kim. Thank you very much. So that's why I've missed you, darling. I've missed all this assistance. I'm stumbling through these the live streams for the last month or so since you've been recovering from your that hernia operation. So, it's so good to have assistance. My goodness. Okay. Alex says EU have strict rules on dairy and meat imports. So yeah, you may have maybe some quarantine issues. I don't know. I certainly know that if somebody tried to bring cheese into Australia, it would be confiscated. So as a tourist or something like that. So yeah. Okay. Question from Shay says, hey Gavin, do you have any recipe that is similar to Humboldt fog? Funny you should say that. On the Trello board. Where is it? Let me just share that. On the Trello board for our production, we do have a cheese. Where is it? Here it is. It's called Fundy Fog. And it's a cow's milk version of Humboldt fog. Let's just have a look at the picture. This is from Patricia. Fantastic looking picture. So that is the recipe that I'm going to make. Thanks to Patricia, and I'll be making that over the holidays. So yeah, cool. Looking forward to that. Let's. Hang on, what's going on here? All right, there's me again. So yes, we will. Kim's put up the link for the Anglesey eggs over on YouTube. Let's there it is there. But yeah, I don't know if that's the recipe we use, but it was lovely. Bill says that we are all glad to have you back, Kim. Indeed, we are. All righty. The curd nerd light is going off. Oh, what's going on here? And that is from Thomas, and that didn't work, Thomas. But thank you so much for your super chat. There's no message. I'm not sure what's going on. Still haven't fixed the issues, but thank you so much for your kind $10 super chat. If you've got a question, pop it into the bit below, and I'll get to that as a priority, mate. Okay. Brian says, just started making cheese and learning new ideas from you. Thank you. Keep it up. I will. I'll keep it up. No problems at all. I've got lots of ideas, and that will be absolutely fantastic. All right. And Mrs. Ready Bill, yeah, it says, what's next on the list of tutorials? As I mentioned at the start of the show, it will be gorgonzola. So that creamy Italian blue cheese. So that should be good fun. Lindsay says, g'day, Lindsay. Lovely to see you, mate. Patricia says, show the Facebook group and learn to make cheese has a real Humboldt fog recipe in their files section. Remembering that it's a commercial cheese, it's not a protected designation of origin. They don't have that in the US, but yeah, the name Humboldt fog, I don't know if they'll sue you or anything, but there is the recipe over there. So it's a great little group, actually, Facebook group, Learn to Make Cheese. Moderators are fantastic. The Shara and Tracy do a fantastic job of sorting out all the riffraff, and there just isn't any how do I say that? There's no bitchiness, if that makes sense. So there's no nobody big notes themselves, and everybody's just there for the community. So any newbie curd nerd is welcome straight away. Ideas are thrown around. People share pictures of their cheese. It's a great little community. I like being there just as much as I do on my channel and this community that we have live. So it's a great play. If you haven't signed up for that Facebook group, then do so. Pop over there. Yeah. Next question. Oh, Kim found the recipe that we used, which is from the Hairy Bikers cookbook. And yeah, it's a great little recipe. And yeah, if you've made kafili and you want to try Anglesey eggs, do yourself a favor because it is delicious. It's really good. And we actually used at the time the eggs from our homegrown chicken eggs. Yeah. Mrs. Potts, who's our only remaining chicken now, doesn't lay enough eggs for us to make Anglesey eggs. So yeah, she's getting old in the tooth. Not that chickens have teeth, of course. Anyway, question from Shay says, I've been trying to make soft goat's cheese, but most of them end up with a weird bitter flavor. Oh, that's unusual. The sherv that I made, which is a soft goat's cheese, it's like a cream cheese, but you can firm it up. The more you drain it, the firmer it becomes, and you can roll it into logs and put ash or whatever on it. And that's really cool. So you can do that. I've never had a weird bitter flavor. I've had obviously the goaty flavor that you get with goat's milk cheeses, but never certainly not a bitter one. Now, Kim's just said that we used leeks from the garden for this recipe as well. Yeah, I did actually. I had 2 massive big leeks that we used. And yeah, just the flavor is just great. Okay. Annette said, is there a trick to using the curd harp? I bought a stainless steel one, but so far I haven't had any success in cutting the curds with it. Is there a trick? No, not that I know of. I just put it into the center, turn it, and pull it out at the same place I put it in. And then, yeah, they're cut. The horizontals are cut anyway. The verticals you obviously still got to do with your curd knife and do the checkerboard effect, and that works fine. But yeah, there's no trick to it that I know. Your curds got to be set and firm, or obviously that won't work. Thomas has got a question from his, or Tom's got a question from his from the super chat. So it says, we briefly chatted by email about my blue gouda. Is liquid penicillium roqueforti as effective as powdered? Is it correct that blues should not be vac packed and this should apply to the blue gouda? Yes, indeed. So blue penicillium roqueforti, the liquid version is, depending on how much you use, of course, it's more concentrated actually than what the powder, the freeze-dried version is. So you should get a blue fairly quickly, even if it's just on the outside a little bit. Remember that the gouda is a firmer cheese and is not as moist, so the blue doesn't have the same substructure to work with, because the blue gouda was just something I gave it a go. When you pierce it, you will get some you will get some veining, not much, because remember it's fairly compact. A gouda is compact, and it's not conducive to growing veins through it because there's no gaps. Yeah, and penicillium roqueforti certainly does need oxygen to grow. So if you backpack it, no oxygen, it won't grow. So yeah, you will need to keep it in a ripening box, which is what I did to get that effect. It slightly tasted blue, which was good. So yeah, that'll be good. One last question before the gallery, and this from C. Scarston. Welcome back. Why does cheese become sometimes yellow? Right. So when using cow's milk, it has a higher concentration of beta carotene, and beta carotene makes the cheese go yellow with a higher fat content. That's why goat's milk and sheep's milk don't have as much beta carotene. That's why the cheeses usually stay white. Also, a lot of commercial cheese makers, when using cow's milk that's of a lower quality or lower fat, you will also find, that's time for the gallery, but you'll also find that they add annatto. Now, annatto is a berry from a bush from South America, and it's soaked in water to produce like a dye. So it's like a food dye for cheese, and doesn't give you any bitterness or anything like that. It's just a color. It doesn't impart any flavor whatsoever into the cheese. So there we go. All right, so let's get on to the gallery. And now, using Windows 11, it's a little bit trickier to do the gallery, but we will see if I can get it all to work. Sharing screen. And Toby, thank you for your super chat, mate. We'll get onto that after the gallery, mate. So thank you so much, Toby. Right, so what am I doing? I am doing the gallery. Right, yeah. So we got the gallery. Oh, here we go. All right, so here's the first picture, and where's the notes from? This is from John, and John has a whole bunch of little cheeses here, which is fantastic. And it says, so of course the jars are Greek or Persian feta, depending on who you ask. Left to right between the jars is Cotswold, then Wensleydale with cranberries, and saffron infused with multicolored peppercorns. Makes for nice Christmas colors using multicolored. Thanks, Gavin, for all you do. I've made about 60 to 70 of your recipes, all with success. You are the curd master. God bless you and Kim and family. John from Vicksburg, Michigan. Thank you very much, John. Yeah, he sent me an email without any name, and he gave me another one back, and it was Mr. Fishing. So very interesting. Anyway, so next picture, let's have a look. Yeah, 70 cheeses. That's up there with me. This is from where's my little thing? This is from Josh, and Josh has sent in. This is fantastic. I love what he's done here. This is a time lapse. I think he's taken a picture every day. Let me just read this. Sorry. So, hi, Gavin. Some of my pictures from my latest fake camembert are attached. Picture number 1, which is the one I'm showing here. This is a slideshow of the Penicillium candidum growth process over 10 days. Each are a set of 2 images, represents a single day, morning and night. The variable PC growth rates across the 4 camemberts was interesting, even though they all ended up the same in the end. The last image, bottom right, shows the cheese brand stickers my lovely wife created for me to hold the cheese wrapper together. Very cool. Can I zoom in on some of these ones? Here we go. Oh, Windows 11, you rock. All right, so you can see that some of them, this one here in particular, not that much growth to start with. Then all of a sudden down here, I don't know if he swapped them around or anything, but they it's then taken over. So yeah, but by the time he goes to wrap them down here in this picture here, they're all fully covered. So I like this. Cheesed off. Very good little label. Very cute indeed. All righty. Let's go back to the proper screen. And that's a picture of the finished cheese that has after being wrapped, and very nice. Looks delicious. This is his picture too. It says close up of one of the 2 we opened for testing. The paste is fairly consistent, nice color, soft to the tongue. The remaining 2 will be part of a homemade cheese platter for each family Christmas in a week's time. All the best to you, Kim, and the family for the new year, and many thanks for your hard work this year on the channels, via email and in the shop. Regards, Josh. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate it, mate. Merry Christmas to you and your family too, mate. Okay, the next one. This one's from Judy, and Judy, I think I'll reply back to her question. Says, hi, Gav. My 2 cloth-bound cheddars, 1 5-month-old and 1 a good 10 centimeters smaller than the 2-week-old. Hang on, there's a second picture, obviously. There we go. None of the molds are active. There's some pretty wild colors going on. Should I vac pack? If so, with or without the banding? I'm pretty sure that I replied back to Judy already. And I said that, yeah, it should be okay as long as the molds aren't are dry to touch. And I think she confirmed that they were. There's no need to vacuum pack it or anything like that. the cloth banding, if it's at 5 months old, it's nearly ready to eat anyway, Judy. So you could probably try it for Christmas, which would be fantastic. She also had another question, talked about the pH of brine. It says 5.3 in your book, but I'm not sure that's what you said a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, I was being specific for feta, I think. I said 4.6, pH of 4.6 for feta. Stops it from going slimy. It tends to go slimy than the other cheeses when they're in brine because it's for long time storage. But yeah, if you find after a couple of hours your cheese is starting to go slimy, if it's stored in brine, that's the only time it really goes slimy. Then yeah, add a little bit more white vinegar or apple cider vinegar to the brine, just to bring the pH levels, the acidity higher or the pH down. And she says at the end, wishing you and Kim a joyous festive season. Cheers, Judy. Thank you, Judy. I think you might have. It's a great looking cheese. That cloth banding, works like a treat. Keeps all the molds on the outside, as long as they stay fairly dry, and that's all we need. Now we've got some photos from Monique, who I don't think she's watching. She's working today. Monique says, g'day curd nerds, and g'day Gav, the curd nerd lord himself. Stop it, Monique, you're being cheeky. This is actually your stirred curd cheddar with jalapenos, but I don't like chilies, so I just left them out and proceeded with the recipe. Indeed, you can do that, no problems. It's just the standard stir curd cheddar recipe, so it's all good to go. Great looking cheese, by the way. It says, after pressing and drying, which took a week, I vac packed it and stored it at 13 degrees Celsius, inverting it every week. Sunday the 12th has just gone past the 12th month mark. I'll get that right in a second. It smelled perfect when I opened the vac pack bag, which was promising. I tasted it and the flavour was mild and pleasant. Very nice, like a mild cheddar. However, I do like food with attitude. Weird thing to say, seeing I just said I don't like chilies. The angriest food of all. So I will age the remaining wedges for up to 30 months for more pep and sass. Oh, great words. A strong, I can't use it. Vicocious? I think that's how you say it. Sharp tang is what I'm after. Highly recommend this recipe. It's a good one, Gav. Cheers for all you do for us, mate. From Monique. Thank you, Monique. Was that the only photo from Monique? Oh no, and this is the what she writes on and how she does it. So she writes stir curd cheddar, what the culture was. So MA 4001. It was made on the 12th of the 12th, 2020, and then she just said it was 12 months old. So yeah, she just opened it. This one here. I hope you can see my pointer. And what type of milk she used. So yeah, great. Thank you very much, Monique, for sending those in. Alrighty, and this is Patricia's recipe. Oh, Patricia, you never cease to amaze me, honestly. Let's see. Yes, I have a note. Patricia says, hi, Gavin. May I present my Bloomy Goat Red? This is a goat camembert that was sprinkled with smoky paprika before ripening. It was still pretty wet before I moved to the maturation box, so its appearance got spoiled a bit by infections of Penicillium roquefort 40 and mucor, which is the black mold, neither of which bothered the flavour at all. Creamy, goaty paste, ooey gooey mantle, and just a little zing in the finish from the smoky paprika rind. I will definitely make this again and will plan to spend at least a week draining prior to maturation so it is more presentable. Wishing you and yours a Merry Christmas. Patricia. Thank you, Patricia. That cheese absolutely looks fantastic. I am impressed. I'm really impressed with that, Patricia. It looks delicious too. And I can just imagine the smoky paprika flavor and the goaty flavor all, infused together. It would be delicious. I want some right now for breakfast. All righty. So that's the gallery. And how do you send in pictures to the gallery? Well, let me show you. If I can bring it up. So sharing the screen once again. Here we go. So you pop over to my channel page, Gavin Weber, and don't forget to log in. Let me just make that a bit bigger so we can all see it. Don't forget to log into YouTube first, of course, and then go to the About tab, this one here. Here we are on the About tab of the channel. And if you scroll down to here, details for business inquiries, if you're signed in, you'll see a little box. You'll have to do a little recapture tick. I'm not a robot, Jobby. And my email address that you can send all of your cheese making pictures to me, please. I would love that, and we'll do that in the next Ask the Cheeseman. So that's where you find it. You'll only find it on desktop. You won't find it on mobile version of YouTube. It's the desktop version of YouTube that you can do this. So you'll have to do that. But yeah, thanks so much. That is fantastic. Thank you. What am I doing? Let's stop sharing the screen. There we go. Back to my head. So that's how you send a picture. So thanks one and all for sending in those pictures. It was really good, and there were some fantastic cheeses there, some great creations. Fantastic. All righty. Now, we had a question from a super chat from Toby, and Toby, £4.49. I think that's Great Britain pounds. Yeah. That's like $100 Australian. Crazy. Says, hi, Gav. About to make Borson-style cheese based on your video. Any advice changes you'd make since the vid was uploaded? Merry Christmas to you both. Yes. My advice is let it drain longer. So I think there's a little draining phase there. Let it drain probably another day longer, and you'll find that you'll have a firmer cheese. I found that it was a little bit too moist. Let it drain a little bit longer, and you'll have a firmer cheese, and it'll taste absolutely fantastic. So that's my only extra advice there. And thank you for your kind super chat there, Toby. Okay. Everybody's talking about the star sand. Vicky says, I spray it on, no waste. Fantastic. Harsh says, how's Kim? You can ask her yourself because she's in the chat. Chris says, hi, Gav. Some blue cheeses like Danish blue, for example, there is no blue on the rind at all. It doesn't look like it's been scraped off. Do they wrap the rind in foil to stop the rind becoming blue? Some of them, they just cut it off. So they cut it off before they sell it. But yeah, and they do wash off the blue on the outside with the brine solution when it's ready to be packed. And that's what they do sometimes. But yes, they do use foil to protect it. You have a look at Roquefort, the traditional sheep's milk cheese. And yeah, they do wrap that in tin foil and age it in caves after the blue is formed and well after they pierced it and let the oxygen get into the cheese. So yes, to all of those. But thanks, Chris. Dominique says, Merry Christmas to all. Thank you very much, Dominique. Jim says, the sharper the cheddar, the better. I tend to agree there, mate. It is delightful. We've got another super chat going off or something like that, but I haven't got it come up. Oh, it's Wendy. Hello, Wendy. Come on, show me the message. Here it is. Thanks for the $10 Australian, Wendy. I'll be able to go out and buy a beer with that. I'm waiting to make sherbet-like rolls, but I came across a couple of recipes that say heat the milk to 87 degrees Celsius. Can you tell me why this is so different to your instructions, please? Yeah, I'd never heat the milk to 87 degrees Celsius when making sherbet because it needs to set the curd properly. They're getting a little bit excessive there. I wouldn't heat it at all. It'd turn out a bit like the cacio ricotta, but yeah, certainly wouldn't do it. Certainly when I make my recipe for the goat's milk cream cheese, or sherbet as is known, I just let it drain longer and it firms right up. So no, don't take the milk that high. Never. You spoil the structure of the curds. But thanks so much for your super chat, Wendy. I don't know why it differs, but I just don't like to do that. Anyway. moving right along. They're all good-looking cheeses. So, Mrs. Red Eye Bill says, is my husband's old nickname. It's Tanya from the group. Thank you, Tanya. Yeah, you could probably change that name and that would confuse me. But yeah, lovely to see you on here, Tanya. Finker says, I'm late. Nice job, Patricia. Hello, Gavin and Kim, fellow cheesemakers. Ola. Thank you, Finker. It's lovely to see you, as always. Judy says, my wonderful sons bought me a wine fridge for my birthday, but I'm having trouble keeping up the humidity in it. Any suggestions? Yeah, so like I usually say, Judy, it is very troublesome. What you can do, you can buy a humidifier if you will really want. You can get some of those, what are they? They're used for ponds to create a mist, and that mist is obviously water vapor, so it vaporizes the water and creates a mist in there. But it's far easier to control the humidity within ripening boxes, honestly. And that's what I do. So I don't worry about controlling the humidity within the cheese fridge ever, because it's just a bit of a pain. Yeah, ripening boxes are all the go. And if you want to keep the humidity high, what I do is put a piece of wet paper towel underneath the cheese, the mat itself, and just the action of it being closed just makes it humid up to it's about 80%, between 80 and 85% humidity within the ripening box, and I never have any trouble with it. Certainly, all my stuff grows, all the molds and stuff that I don't want to grow, and yeah, so that works really well. Hope that helps, Judy. But yeah, the struggle is real trying to keep the fridge at a high humidity. Okay, there's a question from Wendy Roberts says, probably 87 Fahrenheit, not Celsius. Ah, yes, there you go. The old Fahrenheit Celsius thing. It makes sense. Yes, indeed, it does. Okay, question from C. Scarston says, what's about German Huntencars? I think that's how you pronounce it. My son would know. He lives in Germany. Is this a cheese like mozzarella? I don't know. I haven't heard of it before, but I will write it down. And I'll ask my son or the internet, and it will tell me. But I'll have a look and see if I can find something similar. Anyway, very cool. Fun Pants 94 says, what's the main differences between paneer and halloumi? One's made in India, one's made in Cyprus. There's a big difference. Paneer mainly uses cow's milk, where halloumi is traditionally in Cyprus, the AOC or PDO version, is made with a combination of either goat or sheep's milk, sometimes cow's milk, not very often. Paneer is basically ricotta that's kind of been pressed. It's pretty basic stuff, and it's unsalted, whereas halloumi is you actually add rennet to it. You cut curds, you press the curds under two boards, similar to what you do with paneer. However, you recook the cheese. So you heat the whey up to, it's quite a high temperature. I think it's about 80, 90 degrees Celsius. Yeah. And you pop the slabs of halloumi into it and they sink to the bottom. And then when they float again, they're cooked. They're ready to go. And this helps the cheese, prevents the cheese from melting when you fry it. So, yeah, and then you heavily salt the halloumi and put mint with it, and it tastes fantastic. Both cheeses are quite easy to make. So that's the main differences. Hope that helps. We've got 10 minutes to go. Chris says, I wrap my own blue cheeses in foil, but after a while, the foil has discolored. do you need to use a particular type of foil? Yeah, so if you use home supermarket brand aluminium foil, it does tend to discolor, and what it can do, the blue cheese will eat into the foil. And when you go to unwrap it, it tends to disintegrate. You got to use really, there's a thick aluminium foil that you can use, or just simply change the foil more often, like every 4 weeks, when you're ripening a blue cheese, so you won't get that issue. You can unwrap it, wrap it up again with new foil. Or you can get this really thick aluminium foil that commercial cheesemakers use, and that works fine. Okay. Robert says, hello, Robert. Just got B linens. What should I make first? Well, if you're following what I did, the first washed rind cheese I ever made was Tilsit, and that was it was simple to make, and the results, and it didn't require too much maintenance. The results were fantastic. It was a most delicious cheese. It's because Tilsit uses a thermophilic culture. It tends to be a firmer paste, unlike a Munster or a Port Salut or Oka or those sorts of washed rind cheeses, or even I think a Reblochon's washed rind cheese as well. Those tend to be really runny, whereas the Tilsit was a lot firmer, but the flavour was totally there, so it was really good. So, look, your choice, but I do recommend for somebody who hasn't tried a washed rind cheese before, then go with Tilsit first and give that a go. Smile says, have I ever considered making Vas Botanost? Not sure what that is either, but we'll have a look. I'm not sure if I got a recipe, and I didn't even pronounce it right, so terribly sorry to anybody from Sweden. Botanost. Okay, I'll have a look and we'll find out. I don't have a recipe for it. Finker says, have you ever made a dry jack? If so, what was your opinion of it? No, I haven't made a dry jack. I've only made the triple pepper jack and a normal Monterey jack without the peppercorns. Both of those cheeses were fairly dry, but not hard like I've seen a dry jack. But I haven't made that, so I will put that on the suggested list. Dry jack. Yep, I've got a recipe for it though. I remember in one of the cookbooks, cheese books. Shay says, what should I look for when shopping for a mold hoop for soft cheeses and cheese making? I've got a video on all the different baskets and stuff that I own, and go and check that out. Kim, if you can put the link to the cheese baskets video, that will help out Shay. Hopefully that'll work. What are you looking for? You're looking for a small mold, those sorts of cheeses, for soft cheeses like brie and camembert, 10 centimeters across the top, about 9, maybe 10 high. I prefer the ones with a bottom. Commercial cheesemakers use hoops. It's easier for them to flip, but I find with the bottom, it's a lot easier to form the cheese itself. Okay. What time is it? We've got 6 minutes left. Let's find. Hang on. Question. It's a trick question. Oh, thanks, Alex. Västerbotten is notorious for not being able to be grown outside of the small town from which it originates. There you go. That's probably why there's no recipe for it anywhere I can find it. Got to take it easy says, what's my favorite hard cheese? One of the favorite ones that I've made myself would be the Pecorino Romano with sheep's milk. That was actually a delicious cheese. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. So I don't know, Kim's doing the wind up. So it is time to finish for today, and I will discuss it with Kim on to if we have a show next week, which will be the 26th, Boxing Day for us, but it may be Christmas Day for some of you. So we'll have a chat offline and we'll talk about that. Anyway, if you want to get all the cheese making supplies, don't forget to pop over to littlegreenworkshops.com.au. Kim's put the link up in the YouTube chat. I'll see if I can get her onto a restream like I'm using here. She should be able to, and it'll go to every single platform. Let me just see if I can do that. No, it doesn't have it. But anyway, yeah, that's where you can get your stuff. Remember, like I said before at the start of the show, we are closed from the 22nd of December until the 17th of January 2022. If you want to get any merch, pop over. If you're on YouTube, go to the merch shelf. If not, go to cheesemantv.creator-spring.com and you'll find all my cool merch. And if you want to learn how to make cheese over the holidays, then you can do no better, no worse. Sorry, no better. You can do no worse than going over to the Curd Nerd Academy at courses.littlegreenworkshops.com.au and check out my beginner's course where you will learn all the basics of cheese making in a lovely video series and 9 recipes for you to make with full printed out recipes and all that sort of stuff and what you need to buy. Okay, so that's me and maybe me for 2021. I don't know. We'll see about next week. Not sure about that, but if I don't see you until then, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a Happy New Year. No, what's it called? Yeah, Happy New Year. That's the one. And if we're not back next week, we'll be back on the 2nd of January 2022. Hopefully it's a better year than this one was. Anyway, fantastic. Thanks for watching, Curd Nerds. And as always, I will see you next time. Bye-bye.